Hello, I'm going to talk about cyberbullying and about cell phones with teenagers. So, I was reading an article that my wife showed me about there was a conference about what cell phones and how they are hurting our children or creating situations of cyberbullying. So, who created the cell phone? Well, tell you the truth, it was people like us, adults. So who's creating the situation that's happening with this, with cell phones, with teenagers? And it all comes down to adults. The reason why we wanted to have communication, we wanted to have a much more advanced communication around the world. And who created the websites for kids to go onto? It comes down to adults. So when it comes down to who creates the situation that's happening with our teenagers, we should look in the mirror and truly say, we are creating the situations with our teenagers. Now we're figuring it out. Now we have to solve the situation that's in front of us. What cell phones are creating in our teenagers' lives. So, do we take cell phones away? Do we control giving cell phones to our teenagers? Well, we're holding onto a cell phone, and I'm using a cell phone right now. And I'm going to pull out my old cell phone. So we're holding onto it. We're using our cell phones. Okay? Our children are watching us. And we're saying, okay, you can't have this, but I can have this because I know how to use this. Well, teach them how to use the cell phone. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? They go to their room and they're using the cell phone. You know what? It all starts with us. Because what we do, our children do. Right? So the start is it's not the teenager's fault. The reason why we're using cell phones, or they're using cell phones. It comes down to the people that make the cell phones and create the websites where they go on to, the social media platforms where they go on to, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, all the websites around the world that are creating. So adults are creating this. So we should, as I said, we should look in the mirror and say, okay, who's the one that's started this? Who's the one that's creating the situation? So now we have the situation we have to correct. You know what? It's already started. So it's the learning process of how to communicate with our children. And I'm not an expert. You know what? There's people out there that are saying that we should do this, we should control it, we should take their data away, we should, you know what? That's all about control. It means we're controlling our kids. Is that what society is all about, is controlling our teenagers? I believe that controlling means that they're going to control other people, and that's the subconscious mind, how it works. So what they see and what they learn is going to come back, and that's what they're going to do to their children. They're going to control their children when they grow up and have children. Because that's what we're learning. That's what we learned from our parents. Parents controlled us, and then we start to do the same cycle. We start to control our children by saying, okay, you can only get a job. So when you get a job, you can have a cell phone. When you do your chores, you can actually use your cell phone. Who created the cell phone? Was me and you. So who has to start really thinking about is us. We have to think about how we are parenting, how we're talking to our children, how we're creating a whole atmosphere around family life. As I said, I'm not an expert, but I know when, with the subconscious mind, when we put it into the subconscious mind, it comes back out in the thought and situations, right? Influences, situations. They keep on repeating. They go through the subconscious mind and they come back out again. So learning that we create our situations. We create everything in our own lives around us. So communicating with your children is the key to having this and having your kids use the cell phones in a loving, caring way. And it starts with us loving and caring ourselves, loving and caring our children, loving and caring people around us. So creating this whole atmosphere of a caring and create happiness in our lives. Because when I saw that, it was all about, when I saw the article, it was all about you should take it away. This is creating so many problems in lives of children's lives. Yes, it's creating, but who created it? We did. So now we have to deal with it. And it all comes down to people creating cell phones and websites to make what? To make money. So this created money. The websites, computers create money. Can't stop it. It's just part of our universe. Once we create, then we have to figure it out. So this was my thought for today about cell phone use in teenagers. So everybody have a fantastic day. Love your children, listen to your children, and care for your children.